Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Welcome one and all. I am super excited that you've joined me on this magical today. And today I thought it would be fun to get into some of the Law of One material. I don't think I've actually ever gotten into the material itself, like read the actual books. I've gotten into a lot of the material, but I've always paraphrased it or read like a quote here and there, not pieces of the actual sessions. So the Law of One is a series of 5 books, and these books are the books that spurred my entire learning process. When I picked up these books, I was in it. For weeks, I couldn't put them down. I did nothing else but read these books. Luckily, at that time in my life, I had the ability to do that. And I have been delving into them ever since. It's been, I think I've had these books maybe 13 years now. And they have so much incredible knowledge in them. There is the answers to the mysteries of the universe within these books. And these books have taught me so much. And I can really say that most of what I know, the backbone of what I know, came from these books. I'll also say that when I read these books, this was a knowledge that felt like it was deep within me and has been within me for eons. It was like, yes, this is what I know, and now it's written in word, and in a way that I couldn't put it into word. And so many of you might feel the same way when you hear this material, that this is something that you've always known, and it just hasn't been put into the proper words to be able to explain it. And so I wanted to actually use the actual words from this channeled material. This material is channeled from the being Ra, the ancient Egyptian sun god that we all know. And it's called the Law of One because this is the message of the entire series of the 5 books. We are one. We are one in unity, and that unity is love. And so I'm picking up book 3 today. It's just the book that I was drawn to. And I'm actually going to start with a quote on unity. So this is a question and answer type book, just kind of like Dolores Cannon's books are, where there's a question and then the channeled answer. Although Dolores Cannon's books aren't channeled, they're kind of channeled depending on how you want to view channeling. But each client is channeling their own higher self, their own memories of their past life. This is a little different. This is channeling an entity, a group consciousness that is called Ra. So let's get into this a little bit. The question that I'm going to start with begins in session number 53, and this session took place on May 19th of 1981. And the question is there, from the point of view of an individual who wishes to follow the service to others path, anything of importance other than the disciplines of personality, knowledge of self, and strengthening of will? I am Ra. This is technique. This is not the heart. let us examine the heart of evolution. Let us remember that we are all one. This is the great learning teaching. In this unity lies love. This is a great learned teaching. In this unity lies light. This is the fundamental teaching of all planes of existence in materialization. Unity, love, light, and joy. This is the heart of evolution of the spirit. The second ranking lessons are learned, taught in meditation and in service. At some point, the mind-body-spirit complex is so smoothly activated and balanced by these central thoughts or distortions that the techniques you have mentioned become quite significant. However, the universe in its mysterious unbroken is one. Always begin and end in the Creator, not in technique. I thought that this was so poignant because we do get so focused on our techniques to get us to a place. And that's not the answer. It's not in a technique. The answer is always beginning and ending in the Creator, in the love and the unity that we are. And I also want to point out here how they say learn teaching, because it's always, or learn taught. It's because we're always learning and teaching. We're never just learning or just teaching. It's always a dual process. So anytime we are learning, we are teaching. Anytime we are teaching, we are learning. And we are learning through each and every one of our soul's evolutionary periods that we are one, that we are love, and that is all that we are. And so when we have this centralized thought of unity, of love, of light and joy, that is the heart of all we need in our evolution of our spirit. I love that they said that the secondary things there are learned in meditation and in service, because the things that we do are secondary. It's what we are that is primary. And when we know that we are unified, that we are love, we can live in this joy, and this energy then spreads to others. And that is the most important thing of all. It is not what we do. It is not the techniques that we use. And now I'm going to skip a little bit, and I'm going to move on to the session number 54, which was conducted on May 29th, 1981. And the question is, I would like to trace the energy that I assume comes from the Logos. I will make a statement and let you correct me and expand on my concept. From the Logos comes all frequencies of radiation and light. These frequencies of radiation make up all of the densities of experience that are created by that Logos. I am assuming that the planetary system of our sun in all of its densities is the total of the experience created by our sun as a Logos. Is this correct? I am Ra. This is correct. And I want to clarify real quickly what they mean by Logos. What's interesting is that on Tuesday, we talked about the Word, and in the beginning was the Word. Well, the Logos is another word for the Word, and the Word is the Creator. And the original Logos, the original central sun, the original creation. So from there, we've had a sub-Logos, and a sub-sub-Logos, and a sub-sub-sub, and you keep go on from there because the universe is infinite. But all goes back to the Logos, the great central sun. And this next question is about how the energy from the Logos, from the great central sun, from all of creation, enters through our own energy system, our own chakras. So the question is, can you describe the energy that enters these energy centers? Can you describe its path from its origin, its form, and its effect? I don't know if this is possible. I am Ra. This is partially possible. Would you please do that? The origin of all energy is the action of free will upon love. The nature of all energy is light. The means of its ingress into the mind-body-spirit complex is double. Firstly, there is the inner light, which is Polaris of the self, the guiding star. This is the birthright and true nature of all entities. This energy dwells within. The second point of ingress is the polar opposite of the North Star, shall we say, and may be seen, if you wish to use the physical body as an analog for the magnetic field, as coming through the feet from the earth and through the lower point of the spine. This point of ingress of the universal light energy is undifferentiated until it begins its filtering process through the energy centers. The requirements of each center and the efficiency with which the individual has learned to tap into the inner light, determine the nature of the use made by the entity of these in-streamings. So let me help to break that down just a little bit, because I know this can be a little wordy, and it's like if you have to go back and re-listen to the words again to be like, what was that? That's what I did when I read these books. I had to go back and read these sentences a couple times because there's a lot of information written in here in just one simple sentence. And so what they're talking about here is our North Star is essentially our crown chakra. It is our energetic signature of the light that exists within us. It is always within, always dwelling within us. It's how we're here. It's what makes us us. And the second point of ingress they're talking about is the root chakra. It is the place where, as they said, this light is undifferentiated until it begins filtering through all of the different energy centers. That means the light comes in pure creator light through the root. What we do with it from there is up to us. And through all of our distortions, all of our programming, all of our experiences, we all relate to this light differently. So every individual will learn to tap into this light and use it in different ways in order for our own evolutionary process. And the way we experience these things are as catalyst, which leads to the next question. Does experiential catalyst follow the same path? This may be a dumb question. I am Ra. This is not a pointless question, for catalyst and the requirements or distortions of the energy centers are two concepts linked as tightly as two strands of rope. That's very important. That's how tightly intertwined our experiences, how we relate to them, are directly affecting our energy centers and how our energy centers are affecting how we relate. It's all a dualistic thing here. The one will always affect the other. They're intertwined. And so what we have to understand through that is our experiences, our remembrances, how we perceive, how we relate, what our inner thoughts are, is affecting our energy centers. And then the next time we have an experience, a catalyst that comes through, we will react in the way that our energy has been settled into, where our energy is. If it's not balanced, if we haven't worked on that experience or that catalyst that has affected us in that way. And so the questions continue. You mentioned in an earlier session that the experiential catalyst was first experienced by the South Pole and appraised with respect to its survival value. That's why I asked the question. Would you explain on this concept? I am Ra. We have addressed the filtering process by which incoming energies are pulled upwards according to the distortions of each energy center and the strength of will or desire emanating from the awareness of inner light. If we may be more specific, please query with specificity. I'll make this statement, which may be somewhat distorted, and then I'll let you correct it. We have, coming through the feet and the base of the spine, the total energy that the mind-body-spirit complex will receive in a way of what we call light. Each energy center then filters out and uses a portion of this energy, red through violet. Is this correct? I am Ra. This is largely correct. The exceptions are as follows. The energy ingress ends with indigo. The violet ray is a thermometer or indicator of the whole. As this energy is absorbed by the energy centers, at some point, is it not only absorbed into the being, but radiates through the energy center outwardly? I believe this begins at the blue center and also occurs in the indigo and violet. Is this correct? I am Ra. Firstly, we would state that we had not finished answering the previous query and may thus answer both in part by stating that in the fully activated entity, only that small portion of in-streaming light needed to tune the energy center is used, the great remainder being free to be channeled and attracted upwards. To answer your second question more fully, we may say that it is correct that radiation without the necessity of response begins with blue ray, although the green ray, being the great transitional ray, must be given all careful consideration, for until transfer of all energy types has been experienced and mastered to a great extent, there will be blockages in the blue and indigo radiations. Again, the violet emanation is, in its context, a resource from which, through indigo, infinite intelligence may be contacted. The radiation thereof will not be violet ray, but rather green, blue, or indigo, depending upon the nature of the type of intelligence which infinity has brought through into discernible energy. The green ray type of radiation in this case is the healing, the blue ray the communication and inspiration, the indigo that energy of the adept, which has its place in faith. So when they're talking about the rays here, they're talking about the chakras, and what they mean when they say that until all of the transfers, the energy transfers have been experienced, that there will be some blockage in the blue and the indigo. And that is because we have to be fully heart open, heart centered, in order for the blue and the indigo to be balanced and open. So the first 3 chakras are where we're gaining all of this experience, where we're learning to work with all of the different energy transfers. First, it's survival, and then there's the sexual energy transfers, and how we work with one another, how we give and receive love, how we do that without expectation of return. When we get to that place, being able to do it without the expectation of return, that is when we can fully start our spiritual journey and move on to these opening up these higher centers and unblocking them as well. But the heart first must be open, as long as you're on the positive path, that is, which all of you listening are on that path, which means always an open heart, always centered in love. And I'm just going to pull a quick quote here on the next page that says, "There is no magic greater than the honest distortion towards love." No magic greater than the honest distortion towards love. And that's exactly what I was just talking about, the honest distortion. A distortion is something that is not pure light. Anything that is a color, essentially, anything that is not the white light is a distortion. If it's red or orange or yellow or green or blue or indigo or violet, it's a distortion. And so it's not a bad thing. It's a color, it's an energy, it's a vibration. So the honest distortion, we're all going to have distortions here in this experience, because without them, we wouldn't have an experience. We need to be distorted in order to have the experience. Otherwise, we'd still be one with that light. So to have the distortion towards honesty, to be able to honestly love and not need anything for that love, just because you're it. You're love, and you're going to be love, you're going to share love, and that's that. You don't need anything for it. That is an honest distortion towards love, and that is where the true magic is. And I think that is the perfect place to leave off for the day. I love you all so much. I'm going to leave you with this song, Rising Appalachia, Make Magic. Until next time, I love you all.
Giver in a land of the forsaken, can I be a forgiver? Can I swim up river, keep the air in my lungs? When I hit the dam, I'll break it and sing to the ocean. Sing to the ocean. Sing to the ocean. Sing to the ocean. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the smoke and mirrors? Make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the smoke and mirrors? Make magic, make magic. I see good people all around me, acting kindly, acting wisely. Open your eyes, what do you see? Those in power are meek in their ways. Say stop, with the magic in our cook pots. Good people all around me, acting kindly, acting wisely. Open your eyes, what do you see? Those in power are meek in their ways. Say stop, we'll hold 'em back with the magic in our cook pots. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the smoke and mirrors? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the wicked of the world? Make magic, make magic, make magic. What are we gonna do with the smoke and mirrors? Make magic, make magic, make magic.
We believe in warriors and we don't believe in war. And we'll arm ourselves in liberty, arms outstretched at your door. And we believe in the righteous and the sacred holy stone, in the